With the recent release of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, fans are going crazy with the many possibilities that the MCU could have. This film will really change the entire MCU when you think about the future, and it could be setting up one large movie in a few years' time. So stay tuned to today's video as we are going to discuss why the new Doctor Strange movie is changing Marvel movies and some other news. This video is going to have spoilers for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, so make sure you have already seen the movie before carrying on. First up, we have the Fantastic Four. One of the biggest reveals in Multiverse of Madness was that a variant of Reed Richards, aka Mr. Fantastic, exists in the MCU. He was introduced during the Illuminati part of the film and was obviously eventually killed by Wanda during her destruction. Sadly, that version of Reed Richards is no longer alive, but we should be seeing him return in some shape or form soon. A Fantastic Four movie has already been announced by Marvel and should be filming next year. None of the cast have been announced, but fans were wanting two specific actors for the film. They wanted John Krasinski and Emily Blunt to play Reed Richards and Sue Storm, respectively. Thankfully, we got John Krasinski playing Mr. Fantastic within Multiverse of Madness, and cinemas across the globe were going crazy. It was such a great reveal and might mean he is going to come back in the future. Krasinski has always wanted to be in the MCU and play Fantastic, and he got his and our wish. Now, though this was a variant of the character, Krasinski could play the main version of Reed Richards in the MCU in the upcoming Fantastic Four film. We also want Emily Blunt to be in the film, as the two are married in real life and starred together in A Quiet Place. The Fantastic Four have already been teased a bunch in the MCU, and now with Reed appearing in Multiverse of Madness, we might be seeing them cast very soon. What do you think about all of this? Let us know down in the comments section below. Next up is the Multiverse. The film really opened up the multiverse and showed us all what could be out there in the Marvel Universe. Many new things are coming up in the future of the MCU, and this film might have given us an insight into all of it. The major scene where we see this is when Doctor Strange and American Chavez are flying through the multiverse. We see many different multiverses, and some of those are well known for comic book fans. First, we see an animated universe, which could lead us to one of the many animated Marvel television series, or even into the Spider-Verse. Another thing we see is the 2099 universe, where many of the Marvel characters are in the future versions of themselves. From Spider-Man 2099 to Punisher 2099. These characters are much different and well known. Next is the Noir universe. You will know this one well if you have seen Into the Spider-Verse. The final major multiverse we see is a dinosaur one. Whilst this one could just be a dinosaur universe, it's most likely a reference to the Savage Lands from the Marvel Comics. The Savage Lands is an island in the Marvel Comics filled with dinosaurs and people with a leader. There's a lot to that place, and we could be seeing it in the near future of the MCU. And now, Secret Wars. The biggest thing that this film sets up is none other than Secret Wars, which should be our next large Avengers Endgame type film in a few years. This film will most likely come out as early as 2025, but will be later depending on the story they are going for. It's going to need a lot more setup to get it all going. First of all, we need the Fantastic Four and Doctor Doom to show up, as Reed Richards and Victor Von Doom are two of the main characters in the comic storyline. So what is Secret Wars? Well, the first post-credits scene of the film sets this up when Clea shows up to meet Doctor Strange and talks about an incursion. Incursions were also spoken about by Reed Richards earlier in the film. An incursion is where two or more multiverses collide with one another and start to merge. In Secret Wars, all the multiverses collided with one another to create Battle World, a world with every character from across the multiverse fighting one another. In the end, the battle was over and one multiverse was created and a new Marvel canon was established. This was how Miles Morales came into the main Marvel comics, as well as some other characters. The MCU should be doing this storyline as they are setting it up in the next few films. This event should have every MCU character together, again trying to stop this all from happening. In the end, the multiverse will probably be reset and a new MCU canon will be established, with new actors and new characters altogether. This one could be huge and should change everything if it happens. And finally, we have Clea. As we just mentioned, Clea showed up at the end of the film and she met Doctor Strange. In the comics, Clea is Strange's love interest and connected to the Dark Dimension. We saw the Dark Dimension with Dormammu in the first Doctor Strange film. She is setting up the next Doctor Strange film and it's going to be crazy. We don't know what the plot is, but it could include some more multiversal action and maybe some bigger Doctor Strange characters. There is no announcement for this film, film, but surely it's going to be announced soon. Let us know what you think down in the comments section below. And now, on to some other news. And now, who is directing this new Thor movie? After the insane success that was Thor Ragnarok, Marvel saw what amazing things Taika Waititi could do, so they signed him on for another Marvel movie. Thor Love and Thunder will be directed by Taika Waititi, and he is also coming back as Korg. We have seen a small glimpse at Korg through the leaked Lego sets floating around the internet, but no footage has been released to the public of Korg or the film at all. Another thing Taika has done for this film is actually writing the script for it. He has done many interviews since this film was announced and has a lot of good things to say about what he has to come up with. It's going to be bigger and louder and more bombastic, Waititi told Wired in October 2019. It's only interesting to me if we're doubling down on how nuts Ragnarok was. Chris Hemsworth shared similar thoughts on the storyline, telling the Philadelphia Inquirer that it's one of the best scripts I've read in years. It's Taika at his most extreme and at his best, he said. If the version I read is the one we get running with, it's going to be pretty insane. What do you think about Taika's directing and writing style? If you enjoyed Thor Ragnarok, it looks like you should enjoy his new film as well. Let us know down in the comments section below what you think of Taika and this new Thor movie so far. Next up, Natalie Portman is returning as Jane Foster, and also Christian Bale is the main villain of the next film. Here we have two of the biggest pieces of information for the film. The first one is that Natalie Portman is finally returning as Jane Foster after not appearing in Thor Ragnarok. Though we don't know what her story will be in this film, we do know that she will finally be delving into a comic book story beloved by many. The specifics might not be the same in the live-action adaptation, but it looks like Jane Foster is finally going to wield Thor's iconic hammer and become a god of thunder herself. In the comic books, Foster takes on the mantle of Thor after the god of thunder dies. In this story, we don't know what is going on, but it has been completely confirmed that she will have the hammer in this project. The next piece of information is that Christian Bale is finally going to join the MCU, and as a villain, he will be playing another iconic Marvel villain, Gore the God Butcherer. Again, we don't know what the story is going to be around this character, but from the Lego set leaks, he is looking really cool and very comic book accurate. What do you think about this information? Let us know down in the comments section below. And that's the end of today's video. The MCU is going to change a whole lot with the release of these next few films. We are seeing a new era of these films and a new big bad being set up in many of these films, Kang. Hopefully you enjoyed this latest video. If you did, would you please let us know down in the comments section below? It would be very helpful. Make sure to like this video, comment down below, and of course subscribe to the channel with the notification bell rung. Thank you for watching today's video. Bye!